Hello everybody, it is X in the house. So today what we're going to cover is the ab challenge. And I also want to explain a little bit about the theory behind why I've put the moves together, because it's actually very important from a training standpoint. So it's a pyramid of exercises. You start at the highest number, which is 100, and then you reduce by 20 reps every single exercise. So meaning 100, 80, 60, 40, 20, 10, 5, and then we hold a minute plank at the very, very, very end is like the last hurrah. Now here's the concept. When I hurt my back, when I broke my back when I was in college, the doctors basically told me that I would never walk again, that I would never have a chance or an opportunity to dance, that I had to have this surgery that was going to take a steel rod and fuse my sacrum all the way up to my T12. So basically what that would do is it would alleviate or prevent me from being able to move, do any sort of rotation, to have any sort of movement in my hips and my low back, so that it would keep my back fused in one spot. Now the reason why is because I've permanently fractured my L5. So imagine your vertebra is like this, right? It's like a circle. And what I did is I fractured both parts like this. So my L5 right now, as we speak, is permanently fractured. There's 2 spaces on either side. What consequently that did was, it was a stress fracture, so wear and tear. What that ended up doing was herniating 8 discs. So S1, so the disc right above my sacrum, all the way to T12. Obviously it's higher, so it's gotta be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, S1, and then 2 of my T vertebrae. Within there, there's also degenerated discs, so discs that have suffered from wear and tear that are not functioning any longer as cushion. So I'm always looking for, I was always looking for ways to try to strengthen my core and do different things even then, all those years ago, before it even became popular to do core strengthening stuff, to strengthen my abs and try and rehabilitate my way around getting out of surgery. What ended up happening was they put me in a back brace. I'm talking like the movie Romeo and Michelle, where you have I had a full body brace that went from under my rib cage all the way down to just over my butt. So it had like a little lip that could go over my hips and my booty. And then it also extended down my left leg, that if I wanted to sit down, I would have to literally unclick a joint so that this part would free up so I could sit down. It was so embarrassing, more so than me thinking that there was a possibility that I wouldn't move again, because in my mind, it was just not an option. I did not give myself the option to not move again and to have surgery. So once I was in the brace, and this was my first year of college, which made it even tougher because I was second semester, I went into the back brace between my first and second semester. I went into the back brace, and what ended up happening was I couldn't take certain classes. So as a dancer, I couldn't perform, I couldn't take certain classes, and what I ended up doing was rehabilitating myself with a special spine therapist in Philly, where I went to college. I can't remember, but I think I was in therapy at least 3 days a week for a whole year. And I ended up completely rehabilitating myself out of having to have surgery. But that also took me seeing some of the best in the world in terms of doctors. I talked to doctors at University of Ohio, at the Mayo Clinic, in New York City. Every spine institute that you can think of that if you've never heard of them, or orthopedic place, hospital special surgery in New York. I had and reached out to every doctor and had consults with every doctor to make sure that surgery was my only option. And I found doctors that said it was not my only option. And they were sports orthopedic surgeons. So what I ended up doing, therapy 3 times a week, and then look at me now. 10 years later, I have absolutely no pain. None at all. But here's also why. Before core strengthening and development was really popular, the doctor Dr. Rose, he's actually in New York City. He's a spine specialist for dancers. He sees this injury all the time. He said, take off your brace because what it does is it atrophies all your muscles. So my abs, my glutes, my quads, my hamstring, guys, all my muscles in my core here, everything had atrophied, meaning that the muscle is still there, but it doesn't function properly because it hasn't worked. I was in that stupid freaking back brace for 10 weeks. It did nothing. It did nothing because there was no growth tissue around the bone, so my bones never healed. So then I had to start from zero. I literally had to start from groundwork. And the doctor said to me, if you do 100 crunches every single day, you're gonna be fine. And I go, really, every single day for how long? And he goes, the rest of your life. And in my opinion, if I had to do 100 crunches every single day for the rest of my life, as opposed to have a surgery that will completely limit how I move for the rest of my life, steel rods in my back, I would try it. I would at least try it. So that is exactly what I did. Took my back brace off, was seeing therapists 3 times a week, and then I started with 100 crunches. So I get very excited that people love this ab challenge, but the funny part is it spawned from something so much bigger, so much greater. So that is exactly why we start with 100 crunches. 100 crunches. So here's the moves. 100 crunches, 80 mountain climbers, 60 bicycle crunches, 40 reverse crunches, 20 side plank pulses on each side. So 20 on the right, 20 on the left, 10 suitcase sit-ups, 5 V-ups, and a 1-minute plank to finish. So crunches, the basics, how I start every session. Crunches, 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 upper abs. Then you go into mountain climbers. Stability on your hands and your shoulders, the high plank position, right? Working your full abdominal wall. Bicycle crunches, lying on the back, working your full abdominal wall. Reverse crunch, one of the hardest moves I think to do for your low abs, but firing and triggering just that lower part of your abdominal wall, your psoas, your hip, all that good stuff that connects to your low back, one of the harder parts to fire. Then you go into your side plank pulse, obliques, right? Those muscles, your transverse abdominis that help connect and keep everything in nice and tight together. And then of course your obliques, these guys are waist muscles. Then of course, going into 10 suitcase sit-ups, which is like a prep to be able to do a V-up, which I think is one of the hardest things to do on your back in terms of abs. So you do suitcase sit-ups first, preps your abs to be able to do a V-up, which is only 5 reps, and then you finish off with fundamental, a plank. Stillness, holding it, absolutely no movement whatsoever. You guys ready to try it? Let's go. 100 crunches. So, lying on our backs. You can go your own pace, or you can try to keep up with me. And I'll count every single rep. You guys ready? Let's go. On your back, hands behind your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Stick with it, guys. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 6, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on, we're more than halfway there. 8, 9, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70, 1, 2, 3. You can do it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 80, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 90, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 100. 100. 100 sounds like a huge number, and there's two reasons why we picked 100. Number one, that was the number that my spine doctor told me that literally saved my life from having surgery that would have completely ruined my career in movement, whether it was in dance or in fitness. And number two, 100 sounds like a huge number, but it is so much more doable than you think. So much more doable than you think with a crunch. You can do 100 crunches. Now, if I were to say to do 100 reverse crunches, that'd be brutal, right? Chances are we couldn't get through that in a way that would be good and beneficial to your body without compromising form. But crunches, you can do it. Trust me, I don't care if today is day one. You try. Next moves, mountain climbers. The most important part about this, guys, is making sure that your shoulders stay still over your hands, that the dimples of your elbows face each other. Most people have your elbows face out like that. Don't do that. Dimples of your elbows have to face in, so that way your bones stack up like a house, perfectly anatomical, and that way your body can function properly. So here we go, 80 mountain climbers. Ready? 3, 2, 1, hit it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 50, 1, 2, 3, come on, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 70, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 80, right? 80 is also a number with a bicycle. Yes, it's hard, but it's not undoable, and it feels like a great accomplishment when you're done, okay? Next one, bicycles. What I see most often with what people are doing, they drop their legs. When you drop your legs, you go like this with your abs when you're laying on your back. You can't drop your legs. They have to be on the high diagonal of the room. Then you can brace your abs, make sure they're engaged the whole time. Let's go, 60 bicycle crunches. Do not drop your legs. You got this. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 40, 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 50, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60. Good. Another one that's doable before I start feeling it in my hip flexors, all right? If you do start to feel it in your hip flexors, take a second, shake out your legs, and get back in the groove. Next one is 40. Now, I think this is the hardest one, to be honest with you. Reverse crunch, low abs, one of the hardest parts of our abdominal wall to fire independently. So, what I want you to do, I'm putting this down so that you don't hear me lift up and lower, and you guys know what I mean. But you're gonna put your hands under your glutes, and that's gonna help. That's gonna help so that I don't splay my rib cage and arch my back. 40 reps of a reverse crunch. Try to go straight up. Here we go. 1, 2, make it small. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. My knees, feet, thighs are connected, and I have a soft bend in my knees so that I'm not feeling that strain in my hip and my hamstrings. Soft bend in the knees so I can focus on just my abs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, go straight up. 3, 4, 5, 6, challenging my balance. 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. And I'll tell you what, That 40 rep is just enough so that I start to feel it really deep and almost to a point where I can't keep going. All right, next one. Side plank, obliques, your waist. Now, in our everyday lives, we're doing a much better job of moving a little bit more laterally when we're exercising. But here's one that we're forgetting. Your spine is meant to turn. So what's happening now with people is when you're running and you're walking, you could be so stiff that all of a sudden your hip flexors hurt. All of a sudden you have not as much free movement as you turn from side to side. What's gonna strengthen that part of your waist to keep you in control? Your obliques, right here. So, do not forget, spinal rotation is very important. Having that range of motion, that is what your spine is meant to do. It will do that unless you have a surgical or medical reason why you can't move that way. You've got to practice it. So, side plank pulses. We're gonna stay on our right forearm to start. Stack your knees, feet, thighs together. You can modify with the knee down if you want. I almost like the modification because I can go really low and really high, okay? But the challenge is to do it like this. 20 reps, 2, 3, 4, elbow right under my shoulder. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keeping your head on your spine. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good, switch. Now, other side. You will have one side that might feel a little bit easier. Now, the way our body works is in cross sections. I'm left-handed, so I feel like my body's a little bit messed up because I demo everything righty because we live in a right-handed dominated world. So technically, for every 10 people or every 100 people, there's gonna be one lefty. That's me. So the statistic may have changed, but that is the last thing, the most recent thing that I've read. So now, let's go to our other side. This is my stronger side. Here we go. Left side, knees, feet, thighs stacked. Modify if you have to. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cool. Next one, suitcase sit up. Getting my body prepped and ready for like a hollow hold position and that V-up. So, what is a hollow hold? A hollow hold is like a flattened out C. I'm sure you hear people say, trainers say that shit all the time. But essentially, watch this. Here's a plank, right? Here's a high plank. Here's me standing. Here's a hollow hold. It's essentially the same position on your back, okay? You want your back to be, your low back to be on the deck. That's how we start our suitcase sit up. 10 reps. Now, I'm gonna explain the V-up now because what I like to do is do the 10 suitcase into 5 V-ups back to back without stopping because that preps my abs to be able to efficiently do a V-up as like the warm-up for the V-up. Watch. 1, 2, you can even put your feet on the floor. 3, 4, arms about your ears. 5, 6, you do not have to hover your feet off. 7, 8, 9, let's try those V-ups, let's see. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is exactly why I have the exercises put together the way that I do. Last but definitely not least, a forearm plank. The hardest thing to do in fitness is not move. It's to stay still. Have the strength and the endurance in the muscle to be able to hold or continue to keep going, like high intensity intervals, right? Where you're kind of burning out muscles. Now, Forearm plank, knees, feet, thighs together. Elbows right under shoulders. What is called an RKC plank, Russian Kettlebell Certification. This brand created what they called an RKC plank. And that's the plank you see on your forearms where your knees, feet, thighs are together and every muscle is engaged. Quads are flexed, knees are pulled up, calves are together with your heels nice and high. Abs are tight. Every muscle that you can feel in your body contract so that your body works as one unison movement. The final challenge is to do a 1 minute plank hold. All right? That one I want you to take on your own. And if you can't hold it for a minute, write down what was hard. How long could you hold it for before you gave up? Why did you give up? Is it because you were sinking into your shoulders? Or is it really because you didn't have the stamina in your abs? All right? Start taking into account what things are hard and what things are easy for you. And I challenge you to push and fight for the things that are hard to become easier and easier. And what makes them easier and easier? Repetition. So I challenge you, before you go to bed, just like I did to save my back, and I do it to this day, 100 crunches, 80 mountain climbers, 60 bicycle crunches, 40 reverse crunches, 20 side plank pulses, 20 on each side, 10 suitcase sit-ups. Your upper and lower body have to arrive in a seated position together at the same time. 5 V-ups, where you're balancing right on your tailbone, your upper and lower body fold in half. And last but not least, a forearm plank hold, one of the hardest and most fundamental exercises that you could do in a plank, and hold that baby for 1 minute. That is a good 10-minute exercise workout. I want you to try it. Thank you for tuning in. I felt like I had to give you guys the explanation, the why behind what I calculated and formed, that formula that I put together 2 years or so ago that has become so popular in the Ab Challenge. And I challenge you guys to tag me, share it, try it, do it. Have fun, guys. Ab Challenge.